Hi there and welcome back to our Gold Advanced C1 classes. I hope you're all well and keeping safe and sound. Safe and sound is an expression for you. And today we're starting a new unit. This unit's really connected to an animal. Okay, which animal is it? Which animal do you know that's got a tongue that is 1.5 times as long as its body and is a very fast tongue? Okay, it's not a fast talker, but it's certainly a fast eater with its tongue. Any ideas? Yeah, it's also an animal that knows how to fit in with the background. Yes, it's our dear friend, the chameleon. Okay, amazing reptile with its eyes that can swivel and its extraordinarily fast tongue. And really, one thing the chameleon is famous for is it can change its colour to fit in, to be compatible with its surroundings. Okay, a very useful skill indeed. And today we're going to look at being a perfect match. Okay, being compatible. So, if we think about compatibility, is compatibility the most important thing for you in a friendship? That's a question I'd like you to think about and then maybe talk about when we get to Flipgrid later on. Okay? But first we're going to look at some questions. Okay, some questions about being compatible with people. Compatible. Look at part 2, exercise 2, on page 102 in our gold books, okay? And you'll see 6 questions. These 6 questions have various verbs and adjectives, and you need to decide which preposition is dependent with the word, okay? So pause the video, have a look at part 2, and then we'll check the answers. Okay, so we can see the first one is the example, compatible with. So what kinds of people are you usually compatible with? Probably all sorts like me. I mean, I'm usually quite compatible with people who are interested in music, people who have a good sense of humour and don't take things too seriously. What about number 2? Do you enjoy spending time with people whose opinions differ from yours, but are in some ways complementary? I really, honestly speaking, I think it's not that I like people who have exactly the same opinions of mine. I don't mind people who differ from what I feel, but I'm not a big one about arguments and these debates and political arguments, for example. So I prefer to talk about other things, not necessarily arguing about things. Number 3. Are all your friends, here's an expression, on exactly the same wavelength as you? On the same wavelength. You understand? We coincide, the way that we think coincides. Yeah, I suppose it depends. Friends that I think generally most of my friends are on the same wavelength as me. Maybe some friends from the past who I'm still friends with, maybe because of loyalty, because of our shared history. Maybe we're not exactly on the same wavelength, but in general, yes. Number 4. Do you have any friends who are as different as chalk and cheese, yet still get on like a house on fire? Okay, so 2 expressions there. Something that is as different as chalk and cheese means very different. As different as chalk and cheese. Another idiom, to get on like a house on fire, means to have a very good relationship. Okay? The moment I met him, we got on like a house on fire. We talked and laughed and shared lots of experiences. Okay, Two very good expressions, as different as chalk and cheese, get on like a house on fire. Okay, number 5. Do the ads, the pop-ups, the ads that come up when you are online, correspond to your interests? Or are you offered products and services that you have nothing to do with your needs at all? What's your experience? Okay. Yeah, well, probably, I guess, in my case, generally they have a relationship. Yes, they're generally, obviously, they're guided by my previous searches, so they tend to show things that I'm interested in. But occasionally, if I've been, researching something for work or whatever, there might be things which I've really no interest in. Number 6. Have you ever clicked with someone instantly? Well, remember, we click on information on the website, but to click with somebody, which means, again, is you get on like a house on fire. That moment you met them, you clicked with them. Perfect relationship immediately. I think I can think of a couple of friends that I've got. Some friends, you take a bit longer, a bit more of time to get to know them maybe. Maybe they're a bit more closed, or you don't meet them at the right time. Others, the moment that you meet them, you're sharing things, you're laughing, you've got shared interests maybe, different things. Okay. So some expressions there for us to remember and use. Let's look at part 3. In part 3, we have got different uses of the word fit and match. Okay, fit to be the right, and match to be equal. Okay, but they're very idiomatic expressions and some phrasal verbs. 4 expressions. Complete the sentences with the correct form of fit or match. Pause. Okay, so the first one. He never fitted in. He never fitted in with the students in his new school. Okay, so to fit in is to mean to be accepted or to form part of the group. He doesn't fit in, he's a bit different from everybody else. 2, they are a very ill-matched couple. Okay. I think you can imagine what that means. They are not compatible, they're ill-matched, they have completely different interests, characters, and it's not a happy situation. Number 3, reality rarely matches up to her expectation. Matches up to is a phrasal verb, a bit similar to lives up to, I suppose. She expects this. Here it gets to that point. It doesn't match up. It doesn't meet her high expectations. Remember, low expectations, high expectations. So it doesn't match up to her high expectations. Number 4, their marriage was a fitting end to the film. If something's fitting, it's suitable, yeah? That's very fitting. And a fitting end means it's a suitable final part of the film. Suitable, appropriate, fitting. Okay. So, there are some questions there that you could look at and think about. Use some of the expressions there to consider how you might answer these questions. Okay? Now, sometimes people think they know who would be the perfect couple partner for you. Okay? And sometimes they try and match you up. Okay? Have you ever had that experience? Have you ever been on a blind date where a friend organised? Oh, I know this boy, this girl, this man, this woman. Be perfect together. You should go out and meet them. Or maybe you've done it. You say, she would be a great match for my friend Pete. Why don't I arrange for them to be together? I'm sure they'll be completely compatible. Well, we're going to read, this is going to be your homework, okay, for tonight. On page 111, there's a little text about, well, it's about when people, when somebody arranges for somebody else to meet another person for their first time to see if maybe they could be matched. It's a bit like that television program, awful program, First Dates. Okay, so it's that idea. Okay, so I'd like you to look at page 111, exercise 3. It's a use of English part 1, reading use of English part 1. You need to choose the correct word to complete the sentence or the text. Send your answers to me. I'll check them and send them back, but I'm sure you'll get 8 out of 8. Okay. Before you do it, remember, just review the vocabulary that we've looked at here. Words like on the same wavelength, fitting in, and so on. Some of them might be there. Okay, I'll also perhaps post a question for you to send your answers to on Flipgrid. Okay, and see if your answers differ from mine. Okay, or maybe we'll have exactly the same. So, see you later, and see you, well, next week, probably, next class. Okay, goodbye there.